Good afternoon. John Verlin with On Demand Advertising Solutions for another digital marketing update. This is podcast number 14, and boy, I'll tell you, I've had a lot of stuff going on this past week, but I want to hit four main things today. I want to talk about something. Remember when your grandfather used to say, I remember when I was a boy, your dad and I used to go down to the pond and blah, 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 and then you'd sit there, bedtime story. You'd listen to him and get enthralled when he'd talk about the frogs he heard and catching a fish or whatever it was they did. Grandpa's storytelling really stood out, and you remembered those things even as a grown-up. Years later, you'll recall back when your grandfather would tell you things. And storytelling is what I want to talk about today. It's really kind of a culmination of a lot of things I picked up in radio, my background, because we would find as announcers or whatever, when you would interview people or when you personally would share your experience with radio, people just like in the 1930s, sitting in front of that speaker, listening to every word that announcer was saying or that personality was saying. And they would tell a story many times. And that story captivated the audience. And they would tune in every day to listen to that program or whatever it is. Well, these are some of the things we need to do as entrepreneurs with small businesses is tell your story. Storytelling is a really powerful technique. It works across the board. But with podcasts like I'm doing now, it's even more intense because you get the emotion. You get the feeling, the nuances. So the power of a good story is really big in your marketing of your small business, and particularly when you're brand new. That's what I've tried to share in a number of my podcasts, some of my experiences. One of the biggest things you need to do is discuss your why. Why are you in business? What was it that motivated you to start your business? Maybe you made sweet rolls that you sold at state fairs and you had a lot of people buy them. Well, tell us about that. Tell us about the behind the scenes of what it was about your business or your idea that got you going, because people love to hear a good story. I mentioned this in an earlier podcast about the Harley and the Davidsons feature that was on Amazon Prime Video. And I learned a lot about Harley in that 6-part series. And as a matter of fact, I almost was tempted to go out and buy one, although I didn't, but I could see why someone might, because I learned about their background. And I even went online and learned and read and watched some of the shows afterwards about how they made it, how they created the early models of the Harleys, actually rebuilt them. So that engaged me to want to learn more. And that's what you want to do when you tell a good story about your business, is talk about why you got into the business and be really honest about it too. And that's what I found as an announcer, as a DJ. If I messed up on the air, people would call in, tease me, laugh. They enjoyed that. If for some reason we identify with people when they mess up, the bloopers, that kind of thing. So be honest in your storytelling. People want to know. We want to know what happened. We want to know what you went through. Everybody does, and they identify with that. That's the key. The other thing, too, is to really display this story, however you want to do it. I do these on podcasts, is what we do for our clients. We encourage them to do podcast interviews. We bring these stories out. We put them on their blog. That is content that we can drive traffic to through social media, radio advertising, TV advertising, direct mail. Find out about how we did this, so and so. But all this is content being picked up by the Google search engine, these podcasts, and then we promote it through these videos, through social media, Facebook, Twitter, whatever. And that combination is a 1-2 punch on top of the fact you got the Google search engine. So all this works together. All these marketing things work together. But if you tell a good story and do this to show your expertise in various areas of your business, maybe it's when you made your first hire, when you first produced that first product that fizzled. Of course, we all love to hear the story of Apple and Steve Jobs, going out there and getting his first sale and having to fake the fact that he was working out of a garage, and had to get some of these computer guys to start selling his little circuit board and whatnot. Those are really engaging. We love to hear those. So storytelling can be a big part of your marketing, and it should be, really, because that's the heart of what you're all about. Doing it with a podcast like this is, to me, even more powerful because you get the emotion. It's like your own radio show, as I mentioned before. So the power of a good story, you can't leave that out. That's part of your DNA of your business. Customers need to know this. All of this good content will increase your ratings and rankings in the search engine, allows you a platform, as I've mentioned before, a marketing platform through your blog. Think of it as your website is your storefront. Your blog are the salespeople in the store, and your social media promotion are the salespeople going out and grabbing customers and prospects and bringing them in. And so by bringing them into this blog, people are seeing this content, they're getting to hear these podcast stories, so to speak, and they become believers in you. They learn about you. They become emboldened to the brand. This is how you do it step by step, bit by bit, is tell a really good story and make sure, as I mentioned before, you tell why you got into business, deal in the various aspects of how you got started, be honest about it, put it up front and center. Let them know this is who you really are, because people today on social media, they demand transparency. This is one way of doing it. Even when you screw up, let them know what that is. Yeah, we did such and such. So embarrassed, we ran out of inventory and we had to reorder and it shut us down for 3. They want to know these things because they're going through that. They want to know what you did to overcome that. And this should captivate your followers, your audience, people that will come in from the social media to hear these podcasts. I've had a number of people retweet a lot of the tweets I put out about my podcast, and I'm thankful for it. So if you have, I really appreciate that. And you build an audience out. I don't know how many people I've seen from other countries go to my podcast page or my blog to listen to some podcasts. I had one from Australia actually called me the other day. So, you never know who you're going to reach. But this is how you can build your brand using podcasts for your content, transcribe it onto your blog, as I've done on my website, and then go ahead and promote it through your social media. 4 killer ways to promote storytelling and really make it work for your building your business. jverlin1, number 1, is my email, jverlin1@yahoo.com. Website, ondemandadvertisingsolutions.com. If I can help you, if you have a business, you have questions about, feel free to email me. Number is 816-223-2105, and be glad to answer any questions best I can. This stuff is evolving. This past week, Facebook had their big annual meeting, and they're talking about virtual reality, wearing glasses. You will no longer need a video monitor or anything. You just look at it on the wall in 3D or whatever it's going to be. So this, matter of fact, they just announced Elon Musk has a new company, Neuro something. I can't remember the exact thing, where they'll have chips in your brain to do things telepathically. And I made a joke about that a month ago, talking to someone, say, yeah, one day we'll just be telecommuting or whatever, telepathy or whatever our ideas, and here we go. It's already a chip now that Elon Musk wants to develop. He's doing this apparently for brain malfunctions and things like that, of possibly surgery and things like that to help people. So at any rate, it's exciting, it's interesting, it's kind of scary, but here we go. Welcome new world, to the 21st century or whatever. Anyway, let me know if I can help you. It's great to have you with us. We'll talk to you next week on another podcast on On-Demand Advertising Solutions. Have a great day.